He cheated on her and then annihilated his entire family, including his unborn baby, to go be with this woman. Now that, my friends, is some sick shit. What's up, story crime lovers? I'm Chi and I do true crime videos on a daily basis. So if you like this video, subscribe, turn on the bell notification so you're notified when a new one comes up. To the outside world, the Watts family, at least to Shanann's followers on Facebook, the Watts family looked like a pretty happy and stable family. Like everything seemed like it was in the right place. So Chris and Shanann had two little daughters, 4-year-old Bella and 3-year-old Sissy. They were also expecting a boy. They were also expecting a little boy who was going to be born in January of 2019, and she had decided to name him Nico. Shanann was struggling with an autoimmune disease when she met Chris, or when Chris sent her a friend request on Facebook, and she accepted it even though she thought they were never going to meet. And 8 years later, they were having this really beautiful family. In 2013, they decided to get married. Chris worked at an oil company while Shanann was a top level member at a multi-level marketing company where she sold supplements. Now that her job description made her to work from home, and she was very, very active on social media, where she shared a lot of her life, her family life, which was what really gave everyone this picture perfect family. In 2018, when she got pregnant with their third child, Nico, like when she was telling Chris about it, she decided to do it live with her followers, have her followers come along with her, so to just capture his reaction. And she wore a shirt that said, "Oops, we did it again." And Chris walked in and she showed him the pregnancy test, and his reaction was just it was okay, but a little weird. This is what he said. I guess he just ended up saying something like, "I guess when you really want it, you get it." So I'm not sure if he was talking about they really wanted it or maybe she really wanted it. So that was that. But also you should know that Chris is a quiet guy. He's like the shy type. So he's not always, while Shanann is always out there because she's already always on social media, but he's just a shy type, yes. So because of Shanann's job, they seemed to be well traveled. They traveled a lot, and you see all these vacation spots and all this traveling shown on social media. Everyone really felt like this family was just, it's like the dream life that you dream of. But they had some financial troubles. At some point I read they had filed for bankruptcy, and they were sued by the Home Owners Association and stuff like that. So they had some money troubles, but like they went through that. Shanann, since she was really active on social media, I would say whenever she was happy, like she really appreciated her husband, because one of her posts had like hashtag husband appreciation day. I mean, who does that? But that was really sweet, and she had this sweet caption on it just telling him thank you for being like, he was the right man for them, for putting up with 3 demanding women, that's her and the 2 girls, and always being there for them, and just really praising him for being a good husband and father. So after the baby announcement, their marriage was strained. Remember, they had already filed for bankruptcy years later, so they were financially really unstable. Now, after expecting a third child, their marriage was just really strained. Their relationship was strained. Like, it wasn't like he was being abusive to them, but he was just really not there. You know, she's pregnant and she's going to need more love and care and stuff like that, and he was not really available for all of that. So Shanann decided on the 27th of June to take her daughters to her grandparents for like a summer vacation, while Chris plans to join them later. And during this time, she was just buying like self-help books for herself, because Chris did not really feel like going to counseling. He did not go with her to her doctor's appointment. So she was buying self-help books for herself, and also buying some for Chris so he can read, and so they can try to work on things and bring themselves closer, I guess. Although those books were later found in the trash. The books she bought for him yeah, he trashed them. So Shanann started noticing he's not like texting, he's not calling while she was at her parents. He was not texting, he was not calling like as he should call and check on her. And at some point, she sent him a message like, this is just a summary of it. She sent him a message like, I mean, she has two young girls yelling at her all the time, like they're kids being kids, and she's having to care for them by herself and her parents, and she's also pregnant. I mean, texting "I love you" or some emotional support is really not going to kill him. Well, I mean, he was just not there. So Shanann had actually confided in her mom a little about what was going on, but like, yeah. So she also spoke with a friend, and she was actually very terrified of like having a third child with someone who is really not there. She did not really want to be a single mom, and he just really was not there. And so she confided in her friend about that, and but the friend tried to console her and just tell her like, maybe he's worried, everything will be fine when the baby gets here, just stuff like that. It's understandable having to know you're having a third child, now you have a bigger family and all of that. So while Shanann was at her parents trying to save their marriage and carrying their son, Chris started meeting this new girl called Nicole from his workplace, and we're going to call her Nikki because Shanann has another friend who is going to come in later whose name is Nicole, so we're going to call her Nicole. So, and call this woman Nikki. So Chris meets her, and they hit things up and start dating. Shanann did have her suspicions that he might be seeing someone else, but as according to what she texted to a friend, she had confronted him about it, and he said he absolutely denied it. Now, on August 9, Shanann traveled for a 3 days work trip, and she was supposed to come back on the 12th. And while she was away, she saw their bank charge a $62 dinner, and it was weird because she was not there at a restaurant. She was not there, and who was he going on this who was he out with? And so she called him and tried to talk to him about it, and he said nah, he went out with some friends and he ordered the salmon and some beer, that's why it was expensive, but stuff like that. He just covered it up. So on the 12th of August, that morning, like in the very early hours of the morning, at about 1 something, late hours of 1, Shanann's friend Nicole dropped her off at her house from her trip. So Nicole dropped Shanann off and goes up, and that will be the last time anyone sees Shanann alive. Now, the next day in the morning, Chris goes off to work, and some hours later at about noon, Nicole comes back to Shanann's house because Shanann had a doctor's appointment that day and she has not been answering her phone. She has been unable to reach her, and so she goes to her house to try to get her because she was going to be accompanying her to the doctor's appointment that day. So when Nicole arrives, she's knocking the door and stuff, and it's weird. No, Shanann is not responding to the door. But what is even weirder is that is a house that has kids, and the kids were, I think Bella was supposed to start school on Monday the next week, so the kids are still supposed to be at home running around, playing around, but everywhere was just quiet and dry. There was no activity happening. So she keeps hitting on the door, and now their doorbell, the camera of their doorbell, like shows Chris responds to Chris's phone and is telling him, okay, Nicole is there. So Chris calls Nicole and it's like, okay, what are you doing? And Nicole tells him she has come to pick up Shanann because Shanann has a doctor's appointment, but she has not gotten to her, and she has not gotten to the doctors by herself, so she's trying to get to them. Well, Chris tells her, okay, Shanann had made some plans to go on a play date to someone's house with the kids, so that's probably where she has gone to. But Nicole keeps insisting, like, no, this was like she has a doctor's appointment, she cannot just miss that. I mean, if he had been going with her to the doctor's appointment, or at least even try to know what was going on, he could have known that, hey, there's going to be so many red flags, So that's what Chris tells Nicole, but Nicole tells him, like, she looks through and she can see that the kids' car seats are still there, so there's no way Shanann has left when the kids' car seats are still at home. So she tells him, okay, she's going to call the police, and Chris just tries to dissuade her, but she just ignores him, and then she calls the police to do a wellness check because she's unable to get to Shanann, and at that time Chris also says he's coming home. Nicole waits for the police, so they arrive and they try to like get to Chris, like, because they're unable to get into the house, and they just experience the same thing. No one is responding. So Chris tells them, they're asking for the lock to the garage, the code to the garage, but Chris tells them no, it's okay, he's on his way. And not too long after the police arrive, Chris arrives too and opens the house. The house was properly locked. Like, it's just a normal day. The house was properly locked and everything. So they open the house. He opens the house and they get in, and they're just looking all over to figure out what happened. Shannon's car was still there, and that's the only car that they had, aside from Chris's work truck. So the car was still there. The kids' car, the kids' seats were still there. The Shannon's phone and purse and everything was just in the house. Like, she had not packed the bag to leave and stuff like that. So they are looking around, but what the police noticed that was missing was the bed sheets of the master bedroom, and also one of the sheets from the kids' bedroom was also missing. I believed him when they were searching the house, like seeing how they looked around and everything. Like, I felt a little bit of pity for him, but this is something that Chris should never have done. The interview that he did the next day, so on the 14th, he did an interview, like trying to tell people to find his family, and his words were, I have no idea where they are, I want them. Like, I mean, it makes sense, but your first words trying to say that you find it, your family is trying to defend yourself, that you have no idea where they are. It was weird to me. But also things that I felt like were the most sincere from his interview, where he was the time when he said he wanted his family to come back. He wanted his family back. Those words might have been true, because at this point he's probably regretting what he had done and just wish that he could take it back, but you can't. So he does an interview, and it has red flags on it all over it. Another thing that I really found weird about the interview was he said Bella, and I quote, Bella was going to start kindergarten next Monday. I mean, it's weird that he's saying that with a was, because he's already putting it in the past tense. Like, okay, fine, your family is missing, and they've been missing just for a day. So maybe they're going to find him now. Maybe they'll find him tomorrow. What about that? And because he knows for a fact that they are never going to be found, and Bella is never, ever going to go to school, he subconsciously just said those words. So with all of this happening, the police decided that, okay, they want to know where Chris was, like, during all of that. And now they take the GPS from his work truck, and now they are trying to find out exactly where he went to. So the police try to recreate all of that, and they put out helicopters, people on the ground searching and trying to find just everything around where he had been. And the GPS showed that he had been to his work site, which is a really big area of land. And so the police go there, and the helicopters picked up something. They saw a sheet, and so they went to look at it further, and they found out it was one of the sheets from the house that was missing from Chris's house. So a sheet that was randomly missing from his house was found around his work site, and now the police bring him to do a polygraph test. And man, did he fail. He failed so badly. Like, everything was just garbage. So while the police is finding all of this and trying to get Chris to like spill something out, a bombshell drops. Nicole shows up. Remember Nikki? She comes to the police and like, hey, I'm Chris's girlfriend. Hi guys. Okay, she didn't say that, but it was just me. So this part pisses me off, because I'm pretty sure there's something in that text that, but I don't know, probably they must have retrieved it. So she had deleted her text before showing up, but she just came to like present herself to the police, and she told the police like Chris had told her about his family, but Chris had said they were separated and about to divorce, and the divorce was almost finalized. So when she found out that Chris was such a liar and he had lied about he had lied about leaving his family, she deleted all the texts because she just wanted to forget about him. That's what she told the police. So while she tells the police all of this, her search history showed something different. Like, because she told the public, like the media, that she had just met Chris and they were just beginning to date and they were trying to take things slowly. But her search history, like, you don't take things slowly and search for wedding gowns at the same time. Though these are just some things that showed a little red flag from her search history. So her first internet search was sometime in July. Man I'm having an affair with says he would leave his wife. Search. I'm wondering what they told her that yeah. Now August 4th, these are days leading up to the murder, and she was searching the internet for a full-blown 2 hours looking for the perfect. She was looking for wedding dresses. So yeah, like this was the day before the murder. Man said she said something. Okay, I'm not really sure about this one, but it was something around man marrying his mistress. She searched that, and after the murder, she had spent so many hours searching for Shanann's name. Like, honestly, if I'm being honest, I'm going to try to understand how on the last search, like, she probably just heard the news. I'm going to understand how on this search about Shanann's name, she had probably just heard the news Shanann was missing. So she was trying to, like, figure out what was going on. So let's just give her that. So she searched a lot about Shanann's name. This was after the murder. So yeah. Then after that, she was searching, and this is a huge red flag. Can cops trace text messages? In my opinion, I honestly think that she was trying to find out if the cops are going to find out about her relationship, and probably Siri told her something good and she decided to come to the police so that she will come clean before she gets found out through the text messages. So honestly, she does know that everyone would probably blame her, but obviously the police should have been able to recover those messages, but I don't think there was anything incriminating, else she would have been in jail with him. But yeah, so she later on searched, after all of this had gone down, she searched for Amber Fry. She wants to know, like, she said net worth of Amber Fry. That's what she was searching for. Like, she was trying to know, like, how much she got for a book deal. Like, if you don't know the case about Amber Fry, then let me know in the comments if you guys want me to cover that as well. So yeah, that was Nicole's whole deal. The police really did not have much to do with her because it seemed like she probably came up clean, but she probably did not want people to think that she was one of the reasons, even though she clearly is one of the reasons why Chris, whatever happened. So while all of this is going on, the searches focused around where the bedsheet was found, where they found some dirt that seemed to have been recently moved, and that is where they found Shanann's shallow grave, where he had buried Shanann, and Nicole were buried in that shallow grave, and Nicole died in his mom's womb. He never got the opportunity to see this world, while Bella and Nikki had been put in an oil tank, two separate oil tanks that were not too far from there. So Bella, who is the older daughter, she had scratches all over her body because the oil tank, the hatch, was just 8 inches wide, and forcing from her body being forced into it, she had scratches on her body. And the crazy part is a chunk of her hair was pulled out while being forced into that. And I read somewhere that the water tank, the oil tanks were half empty, so you could hear the splash when the bodies landed in there. I don't understand how his heart could do that, and it just broke my heart learning about all this. And Cece was the younger one, and she was in another water tank. Obviously, it's because Shanann was Like Shanann was big and she was an adult and she was pregnant, so that would have proved some difficulties carrying her up to be in the same place. But yeah, that was his family. So Shanann's body showed that she had no defense wound or scratches. Chris had no marks on his body. I'm not sure if she was asleep when all of this happened, but to strangle someone till they are completely dead, it takes between 2 to 4 minutes to have that done. And I don't understand. She might have been asleep, or I'm not sure, but I could only imagine if, because at some point, even if you're sleeping, you wake up and then you can only think of the disappointment in her eyes and all of it was, yeah, I have no idea what to say. But she had been strangled, and Cece also, she had, the two girls had been smothered, and Cece had no scratches on her body, but Bella had tried to fight for her life. You could see she had struggled. Her body showed that she had struggled and tried to stay alive. And it's funny how the little girl had sang a really cute, nice song, calling her daddy a hero. And daddy was the one, her hero had literally squeezed the last life out of her. Some other evidence that was found was that Nebel's doorbell caught Chris back of his car, because I actually watched an interview where Nebel was saying she had seen a strange truck there, but that was probably Chris's work car. Chris backed up his car and went into his house and came back, went into his house and came back 3 times, which is just, you can say, carrying the 3 bodies into the car. And he spent 50 minutes doing this trip. Like, it was a hard one, and then drove out, and that video was sent to the police, which helped their investigation. Let's go back to Chris. The police are trying to interrogate him, but he's really not saying anything until he said he has to talk to his dad. Like, the police are like, I saw the polygraph test was just garbage, so just tell us what is going on. So she tries to talk to him. He said he's going to tell them everything, but he has to talk with his dad first. So his dad comes in, and obviously they're recording everything. And in the video, he just told his dad is like, he should tell him what's going on so they can try to help him and stuff like that. This is the story he told his dad, and later on told the police. Shanann came in that day, and they tried to talk about their marriage, and he was telling her that he's going to get a divorce. And the conversation got really upsetting and heated, and he stepped out for a minute. I don't know how long that is, but like he said, he stepped out he left for a minute, and he could see Shanann on the monitor hurting their kids, and Shanann strangled both. By the time he got there, Shanann had strangled both kids. I mean, a pregnant woman has the energy to strangle both of her daughters. Yeah, wow. So yeah, Shanann had strangled both kids, and he just lost it and then strangled her. That was what he told his dad, and ended up saying the same thing to the police. So that was his confession. This is actually a really nice thing, but like, it's just the type of niceness that I'm not sure I'm there yet. But this family, Shannon's family, Shannon's parents actually asked their lawyer not to pursue the death penalty. And watching them read their statements to Chris, they are just really evolved. They were in so much pain, but they still wanted him to live his life. So Chris ended up getting life in prison for the murder of all his family members, and he ended up pleading guilty to the 4 murders. So they don't ask for the death penalty, and he's going to be spending the rest of his life in prison, and he lost a really beautiful family. The psychology behind all of these annihilation cases, these family annihilation cases, is just so hard to understand, but yeah, it is what it is. See you guys in the next video, and be sure to come back tomorrow for another episode like this. Goodbye.